All right, you freedom-loving boys and girls, Mark Centerline Systems, welcome to the dojo, Mad Scientist Dojo. We're going to do a relatively shorter video, but one that's got to happen, having to do with shoulder straps. I'm going to really kind of focus on the shoulder strap lengths because we have a new shoulder strap length that's available for every product that takes a shoulder strap. But I haven't done a video on it. No harm, no foul. I mean, I'm just no different from anybody else, getting my ass kicked left and right, very busy. See my previous video. I just also finally got a surgery. Yay. So anyway, just like anyone else, lots of stuff going on in life, lots of things to do, but let's get into the shoulder straps. So for the longest time, we've had two shoulder straps, right? The standard and the extra large. So like the extra large. And actually, before I go into the sizes, let me just say this. You got to take all of this with a grain of salt because every individual is going to be different. Like I personally like having my gear ride higher up towards my armpit. I don't like it down below on my waistline, right? Now, the standard length shoulder strap for me allows me the ability to go in between. I can tighten it up and get it closer. And then when I'm wearing more gear, more clothing, I can expand the shoulder strap and still keep it up in this zone. And then sometimes if I max it out, I can have it down on my waistline. But for me personally, I don't like doing it on the waistline. So I realized before I started talking, I needed to throw that out there because it's going to vary from each individual. If you got a question on that or whatever, give me a call, shoot me an email, we can talk it through. But generally speaking, if you're over 6'2", if you're over 250 pounds, if you live in an environment where you're going to be wearing 3 or 4 layers of clothing, you're probably going to want the extra large shoulder strap, right? And then just going to put that out there. So this is an extra large shoulder strap. You can see it right here. Now, one of the things I also want to do here is on our shoulder straps, whether it's on a mother, a scout, anything that comes with a shoulder strap, you'll see that in your drop-down menus. It's you have to tell me what size you want. And there's some other points I'm going to bring out here. Some questions you have to answer. And if you don't, for example, like if you don't want to customize it, well, then it's going to be standard default and it's going to have 1-inch webbing in larger loops, right? So that's what you see right here, right? So that's 1-inch webbing. And I'm using this one intentionally so you can see. So that's the thread. This is a black shoulder strap with red thread. And these loops are just in regular 1-inch loops. So it's easy to put a carabiner, a sheath, a different pouch, and you can get that position there. And there is tons of adjustment. Now I'm going to hold it up this way from the reducer. So this is 1.5-inch webbing with 1-inch loops on it. And then it comes to a reducer where it goes from 1.5-inch webbing down to 1-inch webbing. And you can see, look at that. I mean, and I've got that halfway, that tri-glide is in the middle. It's right in between my eyes right there. So that could be adjusted tighter this far or adjusted looser this far. And that's on both sides. So you get a lot of expansion and contraction with the normal shoulder strap, right? 1.5 inches. Now, before I go any further, one thing I want to say, and we just did this in a video we just shot called, customizing your gear. Hey, look, if you just order a shoulder strap, you order black, I'm probably going to, and I reach out to everybody. So we're going to have a couple opportunities to talk about it. But for whatever reason, if you're out of town, out of country, if I don't hear from you or whatnot, generally speaking, the plastics will follow the color of the webbing. But as you can see right here, so that's a black plastic. That could have been Ranger green. Maybe this was black with 1-inch multi-cam black loops. And then maybe you wanted the plastics to be Ranger green. We can do that too easy. If you, for whatever reason, don't see how to do that on the website, then just give me a call and we can talk about it. The other thing too is about the shoulder straps. So the shoulder straps terminate there, right there, in a male Fastech buckle, right? ITW Nexus. But if you want to rig something up differently, or you've got the shoulder strap, you're going to use it with a different piece of gear. I just did this 2 weeks ago for somebody. They wanted the shoulder strap for a different pouch that came with a shitty shoulder strap. But we had to put females here as opposed to males. Too easy, right? We just got to communicate. If you wanted to put J hooks here, if you wanted to have them just loops, I just did that for another guy. He had his own hook system he was going to use. We can do this and manipulate this a whole bunch of different ways. And some of you may remember, this was like about 3 or 4 years ago. We actually did this where one was male and one was female. So if you weren't using the shoulder strap, you could plug the shoulder strap in, and then in extremis, you could use it as a belt, a sling, wrap it around a tree to attach gear to. So there's all kinds of options. And maybe if you don't see it on the website, but your brain is thinking about it, just give me a call, because if we can do it, we will do it. Now, something else I'm going to point out here. So now here's a different shoulder strap, right? This is multicam black. You can see some of the colors, but now this one has the elastic loops for shotgun shells, right? So that's an add-on. Every shoulder strap comes with 1-inch loops. That's the standard. But if you are going to use it hunting, or if you want different, more elastic, compressible loops, like, because maybe you're going to put, I don't know, maybe you're putting, well, you obviously shotgun shells, but maybe you're putting why can't I think about something? Like, think about hunting and trapping. Maybe you're putting scents and lures up there, right? You could do that. Or you want really small channels, so you can have a different type of weave with 100-mile-an-hour tape, or a different type of S-beaner or carabiner, because you're going to manipulate it a different way. So you might want the elastic, right? So that's an option. That's an add-on. This is the standard size. So this is the size I use. And as you can see, now that one's all the way tight. So like that for me is perfect, but I've got all of this expansion on both sides if I need to run it, run it longer, or if I'm wearing over multiple layers of clothing. So I'm just under 6 foot. I've been debilitated for the last couple of years, woe is me. But so I haven't been able to do a lot of physical exercise, but I live in northern Minnesota. So we're constantly wearing, multiple layers of clothing, and this guy works for me, right? So, if you're taller, bigger, or if you're not sure about that, just give me a call and we can talk through and figure some stuff out. Now, the last thing I want to show, and this is the new one, and I apologize to everybody, but not everybody's, I'm not a super big guy, but there's people who are smaller than me. And maybe that size, even when it's as tight as it can go, maybe that's still too big for you. So what did we do? We just added a third size, right? And that's what I'm kind of showing off here. So this is the third size, and you can see the shotgun loops really show up here, on it. But here's what I wanted to point out with the third size. There's one product, and I'll bring this up when I do that product video here in the near future. I've done 1 or 2 videos on it, but I'm going to do like a loadout video in the studio here. So the modular mobility panel, right? MMP. That guy, because it's a huge panel, right? It's, depending if you get the mini or the mighty, whichever one. But, that's a lot of material. When the shoulder strap goes to the mother, or the Scout, you're talking, here's the shoulder strap up here, and here's the bottom of your product. When you're at the MMP, I mean, it could be, here's the shoulder strap up here, and here's the bottom of that way down here. And so Spoon's behind the camera, and this is how we came up with it. When we first made the MMP, the standard size shoulder straps, he's an extra long and I'm a regular. He needed to go to a regular, and I'm like, well, regular's even too big for me, because depending on where you want to carry it, you don't want that thing hanging all the way down to your knees. I mean, maybe you do. You do you. Maybe that's your little thing. But my recommendation when it comes to the shoulder straps for that product and that product only is order one size below where you think you are, right? If you're like, oh, I would normally get a regular shoulder strap, but it's going to be a shoulder strap that's going to go with my MMP, get the next size down. Oh, I would have been an extra large. I'm Big Spoon. I'm a big, tall, 6+, 6'3", 6'4" guy. I want this really large shoulder strap. You don't want this shoulder strap with an MMP. He's behind the camera shaking his head. No bueno. No bueno. So he went down a size. I went down a size. And then that's how we came up with this. And then in all fairness, and so I apologize to some of the more diminutive people, like, or the children, you got a child. I've seen some great customer photos out there hiking with their kids, their boys and girls, whatever it was. And there it is. They got their regular shoulder strap as tight as it could be. And that thing is dragging in the dirt behind their kid. Well, so yeah, if you're going to give it to your kid to use, you want a different size shoulder strap. All right. I'll do an MMP video here somewhere in the next week or two. Just kind of getting back into, we got Christmas around the corner, Thanksgiving this week, wow. I just had a major surgery at the end of last week. So we got a bunch of stuff that we're trying to like punch our way through, just like everybody else is in life. But I will get that MMP loadout video, and then I'll talk about that shoulder strap a little bit more. But that's it. We got 3 different sizes of shoulder straps now. If you got questions, give me a holler. Miss anything?
I think you got it.
Got it right there. All right, boys and girls, you know the deal. If you do have questions, comments, reach out anytime. Leave me a comment below, like, share, or just keep buying that stuff from China, and see where that's getting us, Way to go. Way to go, Uncle Joey. All right. Anyway, that's it. That was I guess I had to get a little jab in there somewhere. Reach out anytime. I'll do the best I can to help you out. Until then, keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. All right, everybody, be good. Woo!